interesting edition of Point Blank. I'm your host, Demola Alalade. On last week's edition of the program, we took a look at why marriages fail. That was an interesting one, and we had lots of comments coming into that program. After the show last week, I got a couple of calls requesting that we do a follow up or a part two of that program. We will be looking into scheduling another round of that topic, and we sincerely hope many of you will be able to call in then and speak more about the topic. Today, we're also going to be looking at another interesting topic which affects people's lives. We're going to be looking at insurance. Why is it important to take out insurance policies? Is it really necessary to insure our lives, properties, health, and a whole lot more in case of any unforeseen circumstance? To discuss this topic with me tonight, I have an expert in the field who will be taking a look at. We will be taking a look at his life, how he started and how he got into the insurance world. My guest tonight is Mr. Babatunde Loye. Mr. Loye, thanks for coming on Point Blank tonight. Thanks for coming on the program. Well, where do I start from? I'm sure our viewers out there will really want to know a little bit more about yourself, your background, where you come from, and how you ended up, in insurance.
My name is Babatunde Loye, as you said earlier on, and I'm from Nigeria.
Obviously.
From Nigeria. I started from the banking industry. I used to work in the bank in Nigeria before coming to the UK. I came in 2000, and I actually started after my masters. I did my masters in Kent. That's my MBA in Kent, and after I finished, I joined Barclays Bank for about 6 months before I actually moved into insurance. The main reason why I joined the insurance company, and in those days, because I'm more like I love helping people, and I looked at what I was doing. I was not really happy with it because it was more like working in the bank in the operation department. I was not really getting across to people. So I told myself I would want to do something that I could actually change people's life. So fortunately for me, I found a friend I used to work with, American Life. That's a branch of AIG, American International Group. And he told me about the business. I was really interested and I joined it. I joined the company in 2000 and 2001. Since then, I've been with the.
So you've been in insurance since 2001.
Yes.
After you left Barclays Bank.
Yes. Yes. And,
so you're very versed in the insurance world.
Yes.
To an extent.
To an extent. yes.
Okay. I mean, looking back at your when you were at Barclays Bank, did you do anything to do with insurance there, or you were just behind the?
To be honest with you, I never did anything with insurance when I was in with Barclays. It was more like dealing with the accounts, people's accounts. Nothing to do with insurance.
So you didn't have any contact with the customers, or
no.
And even back in Nigeria, you never did anything like sales. So I'm just trying to figure out what actually prompted you.
When I was in Nigeria, I actually worked with some banks in Nigeria. For example, I worked with Metropolitan Bank. I was in the corporate department. I used to deal with people, and more like I used to look for clients to actually open accounts with the bank, but it was not really core sales.
Okay.
But when I got into England, when I joined American Life, That was when I really actually learned about sales.
Sales.
Yes,
Okay.
dealing with people. I don't really call it sales. I call it I help people
Okay.
because it's more like
Providing help to people.
Yes, exactly.
So we're looking at why why it's important for people to take out insurance policies. There are so many people out there who don't understand what exactly insurance is. As an expert or somebody who's been in the insurance world for quite some time, would you be able to just kindly tell our viewers out there what exactly does insurance mean?
Well, I would not bore you with the definition of insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make it simple.
Okay.
It's about protection. It's people should be able to protect their family, the dependents, the children, spouses, and a lot of people, they don't understand how it works. But I normally tell people that you don't need to, it's something that when we talk about protection, when you talk about leaving something behind for the family, because you're protecting your future. Now, in essence, let's just assume if anything should happen to you individual, the unexpected happens. What happens to the dependents, the children, the people, the loved ones? Now, if somebody took up an insurance, that kind of money that they will pay, the insurance company will pay, at the end of the day, would actually do a lot of things in the family of a person. Now, for example, I've got a friend of mine years back, based about 5 years ago to be specific. He actually used to work outside London, and he had an accident and he died. The insurance company, American Life, actually paid out some amount of money, and it actually changed a lot of things in the family because they were able to pay off the mortgage, the property, the mortgage on the property, they were able to pay it off. So you see, protecting your family, taking up an insurance is a vital thing when you're planning your finances. You need to have it. So I keep telling people when I'm advising people, you can't joke with it. It's something that has to be done. But another thing is that when we tend to educate people about this, and I thank God that people are actually taking it up. If you look at England right now, we have a lot of Nigerians in air, about 2.5 million Nigerians are in air, and I can tell you today that a lot of people are taking it up. Because what I think we should do more is to educate people more.
Okay. So in terms of the insurance policies that people take out, when you say for the dependents or to leave something behind, when the unexpected happens, who actually takes the bulk of the money that's been paid out?
Okay, let's just use life cover as an example. Now, if the breadwinner dies, the money actually goes, it goes to what we call the estate. Now, what it means is that the person has got an asset already. He's got some things, maybe savings, he's got some savings, he's got some properties, so they put everything together with the benefit from the life insurance. It goes into that. It's not that they're just going to give a check to somebody. Now, the lawyer who is going to be in charge of, I'm very sure that person, I just believe that he would have a will. Because in the will, he would have put it in there that whatever that comes out of my life insurance policy, it should actually go to my children. But we're not going to pay to a particular person. It actually goes into the estate of the person. So it's more like it could be in the bank. And now, when the person that dies, if the will that he has actually written down, they actually look into it and they'll be able to actually give it out to, they will proportionally to whoever that the money should go to.
What if there is no will? Because are we saying now that individuals should start to put in their wills? They should have a will.
I will advise that.
Okay.
I would advise.
What if in situations where people just die suddenly and they don't have a will, and they've got all these properties, they've got life insurance in place, you know, where does the money go?
That's a good question. And what I would say to people is, well, the government will come in, right? Now, what they tend to do is there will be a lawyer, there will be what we call an administrator. So the government will actually choose that kind of person to actually administer the asset or the property or whatever whatsoever the person has got. Now, there's what we call probate. I might not really go into that right now, but the lawyer, whoever that is actually in charge, would actually deal with that. That's the reason why we normally advise our client to actually take what we call, to actually put the life insurance into trust. Now, let me explain that. Once you take up your life insurance, you actually try and visit your lawyer so that he can actually help you put it into trust. Now, what it means is that once they put that money into trust, if the person dies, you don't need to worry yourself. The money will be paid to the family, will be paid to the dependent. In fact, you don't need to go through the will. So it's so easy. So we advise people. In fact, if once you put it in the trust, the government will not. There will be no inheritance tax on the policy. So the amount of the cover is what they're going to pay out to the dependent, and it makes it very fast because you see, when you want to make a claim, if anything happens and you want to make a claim, it's a bit. It might take a very long time before the money will be given to the dependent if you have not gotten a will, because the problem there is exactly you have to go through all the the process, everything that you have to put in place. You have to, and it's not that easy. But once you put it in trust, it makes it very easy.
Yeah.
So that's why I advise a lot of my clients: make sure you see your lawyer and make sure that it's
Put a will down.
put a will aside, and at the same time you have to put your insurance into trust. It's very, very important. It's vital.
Okay. I mean, you've spoken about life insurance now. There are so many other insurance policies out there that people they're not even aware of that they should be taking. You've got things like the health insurance, home insurance. I don't know how that works. How all these insurance policies, how do they relate? Which ones people should be taking out?
Well, the life insurance that we'll be talking about is meant for the dependent, right? It's not meant for whoever that's taking it up. You're taking a life insurance, you're taking it because of your dependents, your children, your wife, whoever. Your mother can be your dependent, whoever that's actually, you're actually taking care of.
Okay.
Now, we have what's called critical illness cover, wherein that is for you. If you are diagnosed with anything like cancer, heart attack, stroke, and so on and so forth, that money goes to you. We pay you a lump sum of money. So the money could be up to £300,000, depending on the amount you actually took up when you took it up. And
when you say depending on the amount you took up when you take the policy up, how do you measure the amount of cover that you take out?
Well, it depends on the age of that person. It depends on whether the person smokes or he doesn't smoke. It depends on the term of the policy. So those are the things that a good consultant would, there's what we call, the person would do a kind of fact find. And when they say fact find, the person will come to you and they ask you some questions. So we have a premium table, wherein after asking you how many years do you want to do the policy for, after asking your age, after asking you whether you smoke or you don't smoke, those are the things that would actually use to find out the amount it would be and the value that you will be looking for. Let me give you an example. if you look at the critical illness cover, we tend to advise people to take 5 times their gross income, their annual income. So let's just say somebody earns 20,000 a year, multiplied by 5, that would be 100,000. Now the reason why most insurance companies would say that is basically because they look at the lifespan of somebody that is critically ill. Let's say somebody that is diagnosed of cancer. It might not be more than 5 years. So they want that person to enjoy for that 5 years. So we look at that amount, because once you are diagnosed of that, you won't be able to work. So we look at that 5 years, at least we would have paid you some money for that 5 years, so that you can actually live like a normal life. Though it's going to be difficult. Because you know that.
I mean, if that person doesn't have that, amount of money to pay for the policy, at that time you are requesting that person to pay 5 times more.
Yes, are you talking about the premium?
Yes, I'm talking about the premium now.
Now, what you've just said now is very critical. It's very vital, because you will look at the person's what the person can afford. That's what we start with, because affordability is very important.
It is.
So we can actually advise that person to start with what they can afford now, and now increase it later. You don't have to choke yourself with the premium.
So what if it starts with what he can afford now? Yeah. And along the line, he can't afford more than what he started with.
He continues with it. He doesn't stop anything. So it's better, you see.
So that means,
we don't have to. Let me use that other one as an example, as in the 20,000. If the person could only take up the value of let's say 40,000 pounds, not 100,000 pounds, it's better than nothing. At least he's got something. So that's the way we look at it. He's got something. It's better than nothing. So I would advise that whatever you could afford, because you don't want to cancel it. You don't want to be paying 20 pounds. Let's just assume the premium was 20 pounds. You don't want to be paying 20 pounds. And after 2 years, you stop it. And look at the money you paid. So it's better for you to do something that you're comfortable with.
What actually I've always been thinking about, when policyholders, they take out a policy and they don't actually claim for a long period of time. Okay. What does the insurance company, what do they use the premium? What do they use it for? Because they accrue a lot of money, and people don't claim it. So what happens to the money? Is it that the insurance are making money on people?
The question you just asked now is somebody asked the same question about a month ago. You see, the premiums that we actually take from people, we tend to invest it. Now, at times I normally say this to people that when you look at insurance, it's a miracle of life insurance. That's what I call it. You know why I call it miracle of life insurance or miracle of critical insurance? You'll pay 20 pounds, and we're telling you that we'll pay you 100,000 pounds. What kind of investment, what business can you do that you will put 20 pounds down, and if anything happens, you get 100,000?
Yeah, well, if nothing happens?
Well, if nothing happens, is the risk that you're taking. That, okay, if something happens, these people will pay me 100,000. And look at it, you say if nothing happens, we are taking risk for you on your behalf, rather. The risk that we're taking is, you're paying 20 pounds. If anything happens after the second month, we still pay the 100,000. If something happens after the third month, we still pay the 100,000.
Yeah, but you're getting money from many people, so you have.
We're protecting a lot of people.
Okay, you are protecting a lot of people.
We're not getting
let's
money.
put it that way.
We're not getting money, because if you're saying you're getting money, that means we're not going to pay the lump sum.
Okay.
And now, I normally ask people that, why didn't you ask insurance company where it got the 200,000 pounds that he paid you, when you've just paid for 2 months and you've only paid 40 pounds and you're giving 200,000? Nobody has ever come back and say, take your money back, I just give you my 40 pounds. People will take the money away. Now, when the insurance company, when you now pay for 20 years, 20 pounds for 20 years, and nothing happens, you now come back to insurance company and say,
I want my money back. I've invested 20 pounds.
It's so funny, but you see, that's the way it works. And it's like your daily, it's like your monthly, it's like you're working in a company, and at the end of the month, you finished your monthly job or whatsoever, and you're not asking for your pay, so your salary, and your employer is now saying that no, I'm not going to pay you. You will not. So what did you do? You have worked. Exactly. So it's the same thing. We've worked.
Okay. I mean, in situations where we have you have policy holders.
Yeah.
You know, they've been paying premiums for some time, and they suddenly run into difficult times, and they need the help of the insurance company to sort of like get sort of like a loan from the insurance company.
Loan.
Do you do that sort of thing? Do you give people loans?
I remember when I started with the insurance company I used to work with. That was in those days. Because right now I work with MetLife.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. It's the largest insurance company in the world. Anyway, but when I started with the American Life in those days, we used to do something like that. Okay, we used to give loan. But we don't do it. They don't do it anymore because you see, what we do now is if you're looking to get loan, you go to the bank and you take the loan.
I presume so.
Now, the only good thing about let's just assume you've got life insurance with us. The only good thing about it is that the people, the bank that is going to give you loan, once they know that you have an insurance policy, it's going to be easy for you to get the loan. How? They know that if anything should happen to you, you're covered, and their money is not going anywhere. They can recover the money. So it's going to be easy for you to actually approach a bank to give you a loan, and the interest rate might be even very low for you. So it's good to have life insurance so that in case you want to collect a loan from any financial institution, it's going to be easy for them to give you the loan. But we don't do that as an insurance company. It's an insurance company. It's protection. It's got nothing to do with banking. We don't save money for anybody. We don't give out loan. We just focus on the protection.
Okay. I know you've done your insurance pieces mainly here in the UK.
Okay.
Are you looking at taking your expertise back to Nigeria?
That's a good. I was actually talking about that really. Yes. I don't mind to go back to my country.
Because you sold all the insurance, you probably sell insurance to Nigerians here in the UK.
Well, it depends on what insurance company, or whether I'm going to start my own. But it's something I'm working on at the moment, but I'm not really decided on that. But what I did for my fellow Nigerians, not only Nigerians, I mean Africans, because I told you when I started this interview, I told you that I love helping people.
Okay.
And that was the main reason why I actually joined the insurance company. What we did. Now, there is a policy which is a life insurance that we tend to protect you back in Nigeria. So the way you are now, if you should move your things back home in Nigeria, we actually protect you in Nigeria. We just you decided that, which is fantastic. Not only Nigeria, I mean anywhere in the world. So anybody can take it. Whether you're Ghanaian, whether you're from Sierra Leone, anywhere you are fully protected.
By the company, by MetLife.
Yes.
All right. So if for instance we have somebody living in Nigeria at the moment, not somebody who has been living here before and moved back to Nigeria.
No. He has the person before.
Because we need to get that right.
Yeah. Before he takes it up, he has to be resident here.
He has to be resident in the UK.
In the UK.
So you don't operate across the shore.
Not
giving policy to those back in Nigeria.
Not that somebody will wake up in Nigeria and I want to take. No, he has to be. And once you take it up, you can now move back home. You are still protected. But the reason being, we want to know that you've got bank account here, and you've got a GP here, so it's going to be easy for us to just, if anything happens.
Okay.
It's going to be easy to actually call upon your GP, so that you can give us any information that we actually have to.
You said you give it to people who, if you're resident here in the UK.
Yeah.
What about people who come on holiday and or maybe students, or people who are here?
Students could be covered because students, they've got a bank account, they have GP. So yeah, they're resident here. Even if they're here for 6 months or 1 year, they could be covered. But if you're on holiday, that's going to be a bit difficult because you haven't got anything here. You don't have a bank account, you don't have a GP. It's going to be very difficult for us. So if we are looking to ask for anything from the GP, we can't go to a GP in Nigeria or in Kenya. It's going to be
difficult,
very difficult.
We know government in some advanced countries of the world, mostly they arrange insurance for education, for health care. They give sick allowance for and they give allowances to the unemployed.
Okay.
That's what applies in this part of the world, in an advanced country. Do you, as a Nigerian, think Nigeria will ever get to that stage whereby they will be providing, insurance, like insurance, healthcare service or healthcare insurance for people?
Well, why not? It's not
because we have a growing population in Nigeria.
It's not something that is impossible because we're still developing. I would say that, and look at what has been happening in Nigeria now. Most of the leaders now, they're trying to do different things. Good roads. They're trying to and see how it could actually change a lot of things in Nigeria. So when you look at the insurance sector, yes, it's possible. We just need good people to handle it. Why not? We can have health insurance. If you look at America, it started one day. If you look at Britain, it started one day. So why not? And I think there's something that they're actually doing right now. They're doing something, the health insurance, they actually started in some states in Nigeria, which is actually working well. It might be difficult, but why not? If you put the system, if the system is right, it will work. And that's one of the things that because I was in Nigeria recently, I was in Abuja, and that was one of the things I talked about. It's something that I would want to help.
That's why I was asking you that. Are you thinking of taking this
yes,
back to Nigeria?
I'm in the process of doing something. So that's what because I love my people. I want my people to be insured, and I think it will work. It will start one day.
Do you think there's any disadvantage taking up an insurance policy?
No. When you see disadvantage in what?
I know we have the advantages when you say you have to.
If you're talking about exclusions, yes, because there are some things that we would not cover. There are some things because you can't just protect everybody and all, because that's why we have terms and conditions. There are some things that we would not. Let me just give you an example. Where I work right now, with MetLife, when it comes to life insurance, we will not protect somebody that will not pay out to somebody that would commit suicide within a year.
How do you know that?
We'll find out.
It's not going to come and tell you he's going to commit suicide in the next 2 years.
The experts, they know how to. That's not my line. I'm not in the. But they know how.
They're not psychologists.
They know how to detect that. So I wouldn't know that. But that's one of the exclusions. So we have some things that we would not cover. We would not. There's some things that we can't actually take the risk. We just look at it that no, this is too risky for us.
Okay, to be an insurance expert, okay, do you have to have a sort of like a license?
Well,
to be a broker,
you need to be registered by the Financial Service Authority. Well, right now it's not. It's FCA now, so you have to be registered with them. So after you, let me use my own where I work. Let me use as an example. We will train you. When you're employed, or when you're taken on board, we'll train you. After training you, you have to pass all the assessment that you will be period because you train your Ghanaian for 5 days, so you must know all the you must have the product knowledge. So because we don't only do one product, we have different
various products.
Exactly. And after doing that, you'll be registered with the FCA, and once that is done, that's fine. You can advise on the product.
So what sort of policies does MetLife? What sort of policies do you give?
We have life insurance. We have critical illness cover. We have income protection, and we have accident protection. So the life insurance, it's very easy. If somebody dies, we pay out to the dependent. The accident protection, that is to protect you in the sense that if you have any kind of accidental injuries, we pay out a lump sum of money. And if you are admitted in the hospital, we can pay you £250 per day. And it goes till for 3 months. And the income protection will tend to protect your income anytime you are off work due to accidental injuries or illnesses. And we pay you your salary every month. Now, when you have a consultant in front of you, you'll be able to assess your need and they tell you what we'll be able to pay you. Really, we actually pay half of your gross monthly income. That's the maximum we can pay. Or 5,000, whichever, that's lower. That's the highest we can pay. And we can pay that for 1 year or 2 years. And the critical illness cover, the one that I said earlier on, it's the maximum we can actually protect you, the maximum you can have, the value, it's actually £300,000. So, God forbid, if you are diagnosed of cancer, we pay out the amount immediately.
So once can you force people to take insurance policy?
You can't force anyone, and that's why we have, trained consultants. They come out to you, they advise you. You can't force anybody, because when you force somebody to take an insurance, the person will cancel the following month. So, but you can advise, give good advice, and we can encourage you. There's a way we can encourage your client to take up insurance, and you see, people, I would not take in somebody that I know that if you should go to a client's place, you will go and force the client to take insurance. No, we reward the consultant very well. We pay them very well. It's good money. We pay them, but that we do because the kind of training we give, they can never force anybody to do insurance. No, because see, we all need it. The first thing they want to do is they identify the needs. After doing that, they'll make a recommendation that I've done your fact find and I've actually identified this, and this, and before they even make that recommendation, you would have actually told them this is what I want, because you
know yourself.
Exactly. It's something that you do with both of you will sit down and you understand what they're doing. It's not something that you do over the phone. They come to you, they advise you, they give you good advice, and you take whatever you think is necessary for you to take.
What about in terms of data protection? Because some people are scared of giving their details out when a consultant comes to me, for instance, and is asking me some questions. I might be skeptical to give out my details. How do you deal with those?
I said earlier on that these consultants are well trained. Now, any information taken from the client, it goes straight to the head office. We don't just play around. You can't see somebody's information lying on the floor. It's not possible, because anybody can sue us. So we'll make sure that everything is protected. And if I went to a client, and the client would not give me his or her detail. It's like you going to a doctor, and you are saying you have stomachache, and the doctor you could not tell the doctor what is wrong with you. How would the doctor treat you? So the same thing with financial consultant. That's why they are called consultants, because they are like doctor. They're like medical doctor. You need to tell them, give all the information, what is written on the form, that if you do not give the right information, you would
affects
it can affect your plane.
plane.
Fantastic.
Okay. I mean, I post, as I said earlier on. Some people made comments on my Facebook page about what insurance policy is all about. What's the benefit of taking insurance policy out? And some said insurance policy guarantees a happy family life in future.
It's what we call peace of mind.
Mm.
Yes, because see, once you take up a life insurance, and once, let's just assume that you took up the one of £200,000, it's guaranteed. There's no way, if anything happens to you, they pay the children. They pay
The dependent.
the dependent, exactly. So it's guaranteed.
Another individual said insurance gives financial security. And this person went on to say, to give help to family and loved ones, having an insurance policy in place is the only way to do this. And said one must ensure his or her life in this day and age. So
okay. The person that said that is a very smart person, because you see, I won't lie to you, I keep telling people that the best gift you can give to your spouse, your wife or your husband, is life insurance. Because if you're not there, she's going to be sorted out. So imagine going out buying a gift, a flower or whatever. But if you should come home and if you should tell your wife that this is for you, I've just done a life insurance, she should love you forever. Because that means you're telling your wife that if I was not here, you are still protected.
So if you go out now and you come back and say, oh, I have life insurance, I've done life insurance, this is a gift for you.
She should love you forever.
And there's no food in the pot, no
She
food
should
on the
love
table.
in fact, she should love you forever.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah. She should love you forever. Because you have actually, you're talking about the food right now, but you're telling her that I'm going to give you food
For
when
life.
I'm not there. For life.
Another person said, for that person said, I take insurance policy that I know is important to me at a particular time, like my car insurance and home insurance. Others I can postpone to the time I need it.
Well, the person could be right, but what I would say there is that you don't know when you will need an insurance. Because you see, it's like a thief in the night. If anything is going to happen, you will not know.
Yeah,
It's like you're driving on the road, an accident happens. You are not looking out there to go and have an accident. Or if it happens, you don't want to say it's when I need it. So there's some that you have some few insurance that you would have. You have to have it now. Something like life insurance, something like accident, something like, in fact, income and critical illness. Those four, you must have it now. Don't wait till tomorrow because you don't know when it's going to happen. That's why I tell my client, you do not know when it's going to happen. So why would you not say when I need it? You need it now.
But some people say, oh, God is my insurance.
You know what I normally call those people, I say people with little faith. Not with huge faith. Little faith. You know why? Because you see, if you look at in fact, if you look at the Bible, it's even there that we should try and protect our children. We should keep something for our children.
Well, you remember, if you know what used to happen back in the days, I don't think our forefathers ever had any sort of insurance policy. There were nothing like insurance policies back in the days. How do they protect themselves? How do they,
Well, now what I normally tell people, I normally say this to people that because my father failed does not mean I should fail. In those days, because there was nothing like life insurance, but people were dying. People were dying. But now the exposure, everything you've been exposed, you've left the village, and now we have something that if anything should happen, the children will survive. But in those days, once the father or whoever, somebody died, the children, they will leave school, they go back to the farm. We
But
don't want. We
that
don't
still
want.
obtains back in Nigeria.
Well,
So this is where you have to come in and take this policy, this education to the people in the rural areas. Are there plans to, to ensure people in the rural areas as well? Because they have families.
you're right. I'm looking into that, and it's not something that I would say yes to now, but it's something that I'm looking into.
You should say it now, because if you're taking an insurance policy, you should take it now. So we should be looking at those people to now.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
We shouldn't leave it.
It's not just.
If it's just a little thing that you can provide for them.
Which is why I told you I went to Nigeria and I've spoken to some people about this. It's something that we should help. We should educate people to take up insurance, because we don't want to be thinking like our forefathers.
That's why you need the media. So the media should be able to do something in that line with you. Work with the media.
Oh yes, why not? We're ready to work with you.
Okay.
We'd like to. Yeah, why
So
not?
I'm here for you to support. Because I want to help people as well. Now, quickly before we round up, I want to look at the travel insurance. So many people go on aircrafts, they travel here and there, within cities, they travel internationally. People don't bother to take travel insurance. How important is travel insurance?
It's very, very important. I would actually advise people to take it locally, because you see, it's always good when you're leaving your country. Look for the insurance company in your country. Try and take up travel insurance, because you never know, anything could happen. If you look at the plane crash that happened recently, you don't want to take the risk of not protecting your family. And now the travel insurance, you might lose your things when you are when you are at the airport. You can lose your bag. Anything can happen. Your things can be stolen. But once you have the travel insurance, it covers all those. Your wallet, your bank card, your
personal
passport.
effects.
Yes. So it's always good. I would advise anybody that is traveling to have it. It's always good. You won't regret it.
So do you do travel insurance as well in your organization?
We don't do that now, because it's something that we're looking to do, but we don't do that now. What we just focus on is life insurance, accident, income, and critical illness cover.
Well, I think, I'm sure our viewers will have, learned one or two things from what we've discussed today, why you need to take up insurance policies, whether it's life, whether it's travel insurance. Take out insurance policy, look out for the best insurance policy that will, protect your, that will look after your requirements. And as Mr. Louis has rightly said, please look very well and take up insurance policies. If you want to say last word to our viewers and give them some word of advice.
I would say that you wouldn't go wrong if you take up life insurance. You won't go wrong. And I advise you strongly, please take it up. Please take it up because of your loved ones. And don't forget, you have your brother here. I can help. Because the company I work with is the largest insurance company in the world, is the best in the world, and that's MetLife. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Mr. Louis. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Our viewers, we sincerely hope you've had a lovely time with us. We will be back same time next week for another interesting edition of the program. Till then, it's good night.